The member for Hughes has the
My
floor.
question is to the Treasurer. Will the Treasurer update the House on how the government is acting to improve integrity in Australia's taxation system? And how is the government's tax integrity package announced in the budget working to combat fraud?
The Treasurer has the call.
Speaker, I thank the member for his question and his keen interest in ensuring that our tax system has integrity. And he will know that it has been this government that introduced the multinational anti-avoidance laws, which have already in this financial year will be clawing back some $2.9 billion from multinational companies. Now, this is the legislation that was opposed by the Labor Party. I don't know which multinationals they are acting for and are opposing this legislation, Mr Speaker, but they oppose that legislation, and that legislation is already yielding some $2.9 billion in additional tax liabilities coming into the tax coffers of this country because of the action taken by this government. But in this budget we have gone further and we're acting further, Mr Speaker. Our Black Economy Task Force is addressing the cash economy, and we have accepted the recommendations, the first tranche of those, from the Black Economy Task Force, which includes payments being made to contractors being reported and outlawing the manufacture, distribution and possession, sale or of technology that suppresses the sales and income which is being received by contractors and others. We've abolished all capital gains tax exemptions for foreign investors in residential real estate in this country, and we've tightened up the withholding tax arrangements, and we've restored the caps on foreign ownership of residential real estate that were lifted by the Labor Party when they were in office. But another thing we've done, Mr Speaker, is we are stopping tax fraud in the gold and precious metals industry. We are putting an end to the blatant and criminal tax activity that has already cost taxpayers over $860 million to date. Now, we read today, Mr Speaker, that the gold-plated fraud which we're acting to stop has wormed its way into the Australian Labor Party. At the last election, Labor recruited Simon Joe, who was reported to have channelled $140,000 from dodgy gold deals into the coffers of the Labor Party, Mr Speaker. And guess he was recruited to join the Senate ticket with Sam Dastyari, Shanghai Sam, Mr Speaker. So we have Shanghai Sam and a would-be Labor senator, Labor's own Goldfinger, Mr Speaker, who wanted to become gold member of the Australian Parliament, Mr Speaker. It only leads you to wonder who's the mini-me of the Leader of the Opposition over there and who is number two, the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, really working for, Mr Speaker, at the end of the day. But the real question for the Leader of Opposition is this. Will the Labor Party set aside that $140,000 in a trust account so it can be accessed by the Australian Taxation Office as a result of their investigations into this gold fraud, Mr Speaker? Or is the Leader of the Opposition going to hang on to Labor's ill-gotten gains?